Hi, this is John Reynolds with Solomon Colors. Today we're out here. We're going to be doing a stamped overlay. It's about 275 square feet, sort of an odd shape and stuff, but basically we're ready to go. We filled out all of the cracks, we've taken care of our control joints, we've marked where they are so that when we come back we can recut the joints. We're going to be doing a random stone pattern with a brick border, and we've prepared the slab. We've profiled it with our E-etch. We primed about a third of the slab so that we can go ahead and get started. We're going to mix up in our mixing pails 2 bags at a time. We've got 10 quarts of water for 2 bags plus our 2 liquid bottles of color, and we're ready to go. Today we're going to be mixing up the BRICKFORM SC60 for our project. To color the product, we're going to be using our BRICKFORM 10-ounce bottles of colorants, stone gray today, and basically these bottles are formulated 1 10-ounce bottle per 60-pound bag to get to the color chart. We've got about 40 different colors that we can choose from, but the way this works is we shake this bottle up really well, open it up, we're going to cut the top open, and then we place it in our water, in our mixing container. Once we do that, we're going to fill up the jug about halfway with water, and we want to shake it up really well because it is iron oxide pigment. We want to make sure that we get anything that potentially settled down to the bottom out. Once we get all the color out, we're going to pre-blend it before we add our dry grout. Always have to remember, liquid to liquid, then add the dry material. Here we take our fully mixed container of material and we're applying the material in the shade first. Remember, we've got material that is going to be only applied at 3/8 of an inch, so we have to start in the shade, and we're going to pull that material down with a gauged rake. The gauged rake is a tool that has interchangeable cams that can be set at different heights. Our product is being applied at 3/8 of an inch today, and you can see the product goes on at a nice even depth, and then we take the rubber squeegee and we smooth it out. Again, we're applying all the material in the shade first because we know that the sun is going to cause the material to set up a lot quicker. In addition, when you're going along the edge, it's very important to make sure that you keep your gauge rake on the concrete. Don't let your cam fall off to the side because you'll end up with feather edge material on the side, which will set up very quickly. So keep your gauge rake in about an inch from the edge and then hand finish your material on the sides to make sure that you have a consistent uniform depth. Smooth it out with the squeegee again. Make sure that you have a decent smooth surface. Doesn't have to be perfect, and then we're ready to go. Okay, so we've laid out our concrete slab here with the overlay material. We've smoothed it out with the gauge rake and the magic trowel. And so at this point, we're gonna watch it and feel for it. Right now, it's very sticky. You can see material that's come up on my fingers, and it's still very soft. So we're pretty early in the stamping game. Once it gets to about the sponginess of your outstretched hand and the palm or the thumb pad here, that's when you know it's ready to go. Since we have a larger area, we have a smaller crew, and we have wind, we're going to have to pay particular attention to the slab today because we've got sun that's slowly creeping across the slab. We've got the breeze that's going to dry out the top, so we've got some surface evaporation retardant with us, and we don't want this to get away from us. But we do have plenty of stamping tools, and we've got texture skins, and we should be fine. But this is one of those times where you really have to nurse a slab just to make sure that it doesn't get away from you. One of the things that we want to do when we're using stamped overlay, we only use liquid release. And we can add powdered release to this later to make a secondary antiquing color, or we can come back and use our antique it over the top. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of clear release on some of these texture skins, and I'm going to start texturing just the outside while I've got the time, so that we make sure we get good texture all around the outside. So we spray our tool, and we're going to spray the slab just ahead of where we're texturing. So that we just get a little bit of texture on here, because we're going to be using this brick border. When we go down here with the brick border, we want to make it look authentic. Here we start the stamping process. We're starting the stamp process a little early because we know we've got a lot of material to cover and not a lot of time. The sun and the wind are actually causing our material to set up quicker than we thought out in the sunny areas. So as the sun moves across the slab, it heats up the material, and the material starts to get hard quickly. So what we're doing, ideally we wanted to start with the stamps and go across the slab, but what happens is as the material starts to set, we kind of chase it around the slab to make sure that we get good imprints over the slab. You'll also notice that I'm in front of Adam oftentimes with the texture skins, getting texture on the slab, because our stamp is actually thicker or has deeper reveals than the depth of the stamped overlay material itself. This way we achieve 100% texture, as well as getting the good pattern from the stamping tools in the surface. Here's our patio. We just got done stamping. We did the brick border around the outside. We stamped over here on this little stoop in a brick pattern, and then we did the random stone throughout the rest. In this situation, you see in the video where we had to go out in front with the texture mats. That's because our gauge rate did not allow for a sufficient depth of the stamped overlay, so we had to get texture down and then get our mat down. Normally what we like to have is the depth of the deepest reveal in the stamp plus about a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch. We didn't have that today, so we used the texture mats in front. No problem. We got a good looking stamp. Tomorrow what we're going to do is continue to detail. We're going to stain the border with our water-based stain. We're going to stain the front porch with the water-based stain. We're going to do some individual stones with the water-based stain, and then we'll use our antiquing product to add a global antiquing across the whole slab. Once we get done with that, we're going to seal it up with 2 coats of sealer, and then this thing will be ready for use in about 24 to 48 hours.